Welcome back to The Grind. In this video, I want to talk about chest farming and why it's beneficial and how to most effectively do it. Now, I haven't really been chest farming for very long. I only recently started, but I've been planning to make this video for a while to show people how to do it. And I've been talking with some people recently who farm chests a lot consistently, one being a player called Murder by Numbers, and I learned a lot from him, and a lot of the stuff I'm going to share today is through talking with him. Now, the first important thing is, how do you get chests? Where do they drop and when you'll get them? First, the important thing to know is they drop from monuments on the base. When you destroy a monument, there's a chance that you'll get a chest reward from it. You want to hit the bases that are labeled as challenging, and I'll show you what that means later. You also, to get chests, being active in events and in Atlas means you're doing lots of runs and you'll pick up a lot of chests that way. Usually I would get 300 to 400 during an event just from my event participation. And then other ways to get them is to farm chest bases and farm Atlas Invader bases, which I'll show you ways I've tested and what I think is best. So first, here's an example. The bases labeled challenging here. Those are the ones that will have the highest drop rate for chests, and the best rate is about 18% per each monument you hit. Now, that is per monument has its own 18% chance. So you could get a string of like 15 monuments that don't drop a chest, and then the next 5 might. Now, we'll review this slide in more detail later on, but basically I'm going to review 3 different methods. 1 being farming chest bases, 2 being farming invader bases just to 30% or the first 6 monuments, and 3 being quitting at 70%, which also allows you to get gold and experience. Now, simply being active in events, as I said, will help you earn a significant amount of chests during the events. If you don't have time to go the extra mile and farm chests, being active will get you probably 300 to 400 in each event is what I've experienced. Now let's talk about farming chest bases specifically. So you have some extra time, or you're willing to sacrifice time in certain events in order to farm. So the first step is to find a chest base that is challenging to you and bookmark it so you can access it easily. Now, this video is sped up in the interest of time. I just want to kind of explain and show you the process that I've been using, and there's a couple different ways you can do it. So the basic concept is you want to use dragons with a short cooldown time or heal time so that you can attack the base repeatedly without having to use healing potions. So Ember is a perfect dragon for that. And there's a couple other ones in the red tier which can work as well. But also now that the Divines have a short cooldown, those work great as well. So instead of waiting 10 to 15 seconds for my Ember to heal, I just do an attack with Ember and then one of my Divines and then Ember and then one of my Divines. But if you don't have that luxury, you can just wait a few seconds for Ember to heal and then go again. And that's what some people do that I've talked to. The other thing is maximizing your use of time and how many monuments you kill in that time. So as you can see, I'm only attacking the first 4 monuments on this base, and then I'm quitting and restarting. And that's because the time it takes to fly around the corner to the next couple monuments, I could do a whole nother round and hit 4 monuments. So I'm maximizing my time, and on average, I'm able to get through a base back to the next attack in about 30 seconds. And on average, doing this, I'm able to get about 78 chests per hour. And as you can see, some runs I won't get any chests, but some runs I'll get 2 or even 3 in one run. The next method I tested was farming the Atlas Invader base in a couple different ways, so this may not apply to you if your team does not have Atlas. And I tried it in 2 different ways, one being just going to the first turn, hitting the first 6 monuments, because in the Atlas base you have a couple extra monuments on that first turn. So spending an extra 15 seconds, I was able to get an extra 2 monuments compared to the Ember chest base I was using earlier. And we'll go over the other third method being just basically farming experience and gold and quitting after 74%. The downside or the difficulty with using the Atlas base is you need to have strong dragons that can clear your base quickly so you're not wasting time. And that may not be the case for a lot of people. The other thing is, unless you have multiple Divines in the new season, it may not be beneficial because you'll have to spend healing pods. The other option, as you just saw here, is you can use Ember to hit the first 2 monuments in between attacks when you're waiting for your dragon to heal. But again, unless you have a couple dragons that have fast healing times and can complete your base, it may not be the best method for you. The other option is just even as you farm Atlas bases, if you quit at 70%, you're going to be getting experience and gold and a decent amount of chest as well, as long as you're hitting all these monuments. And again, sometimes I'll go through the base a couple times and not get one, and then I'll get 4 in one run. As you can see here, I got 2. Sometimes on that corner, I even get 3. Here's an example of doing the 30%. You can get some gold still if you're hitting the mine, but you would want to wait to do this after you used up all your gold multiplier, because quitting this attack on a mine would use up one of your multipliers. This is just an extra bonus, and as you can see, in 20 minutes of farming without elite, I got 2,600,000 gold, which isn't very much, but it does make a difference and it would add up. So let's quickly review all these methods and talk about which one might be better. The chest base that I showed first, attacking the first 4 monuments, I recorded how many chests I got in 20-minute periods. I did it 4 times, getting 26, 25, 28, and 26 on different runs, averaging out to about 78 chests per hour. Now comparing that to the invader base, doing the first 6 monuments and quitting at 30-ish%, I did a few runs that way, getting slightly more, about 28, 29, and averaging out to 81 per hour, which is a little bit more, but about the same as the chest base. Now, I also, with that, got a little bit extra gold, as I talked about, but there are downsides to that, like we discussed, not having the right dragons to do it. Then the third option, the invader base, how much you get from just farming experience and gold. And I would get about 18 or 19 in a 20-minute period, so about 55 chests per hour, which is nice considering you're also getting experience and gold from farming that. But if you're not in need of gold, or the multiplier is gone and it's not as worth it, it's not as efficient for farming chests. So the best method for the majority of players, if not all players, is going to be the Ember chest base, or another chest base that you use, just flying your short cooldown dragons on those first 4 monuments, because it'll be the easiest, most mindless, and many people might not even have the means to do it in Atlas. But if you want a change of pace, then doing the invader base to the first 6 monuments is still a good option. I'm sorry this was such a long video. There's a lot of information to pack into a short time. If you're still watching, I hope it was helpful, and I think it'll be very beneficial to incorporate a little bit of chest farming, if you're being efficient about it, into each day. I know I'm going to start doing it daily as much as I can. So let me know if you have any questions specifically in the comments, and we'll see you in the next video.